All right, and we are live. What's going on, Sumolings? It's Chris here from AppSumo, and I am super excited today because we are joined by two awesome guys. We got Jerry, who's the CEO of Rocketbots, and Yaro, who's the Chief Operating Officer over there. If you aren't familiar yet, Rocketbots is the first and only chat automation platform for all your messaging apps, making it easier than ever to connect with your customers. So it's on AppSumo right now for $49, down from the annual price of over $1,000. So it's a great deal we are running right now. As you can see right now, you can see me. We got Jerry. We got Yaro. I'm going to turn off my camera in a second. Jerry's going to turn off his camera, and Yaro is going to walk through Rocketbots, show you guys how you can be using it, and then Jerry's going to show you some tips and tricks to get the most out of Rocketbots. If you guys have any questions, there is a question box below the video where you can ask them. And then at the end, we're going to come through and we're going to answer all your questions. Make sure we get to those. But yeah, I will turn it over to you, Yara, right now. You can get going and showing these beautiful sumo links how to use Rocketbots. Yara, are you there? Yara?
Okay, yeah. Time to get started.
Hey everyone. So I'm Yaro. As Chris mentioned, I'm the CEO of Rocketbots. I'm going to be helping you with the webinar today. So we're just going to do a quick introduction on how to get started with Rocketbots, all the different things that are possible on it. So I'm just going to share my screen real quick. Hey there. All right, and I'm back. Sorry about that. Just had such an error there. So my name is Yaro. I'm the CEO of Rocketbots. I'm going to be helping you to navigate the Rocketbots platform and show you how it works, basically. So I'm just going to quickly share my screen. Can you guys hear me well? Just send a message there if it doesn't sound great. The audio is okay. Is the audio okay for everyone? Oh, okay, cool. Looks like the screen shared itself. Awesome. Okay, so when you get started with Rocketbots, you're going to see something like this. Basically, this is the screen where you get started. This is where you create your space. It's really quick. I'm just going to name my space here, call it My First Space. And I'm going to be talking to my customers primarily in English, so I'm going to leave the primary language as English. All right. When you enter your space, it's going to look something like this. We've just created kind of like a test contact that you can look at so you can see how everything looks when it's populated. One of the first things you're going to want to do is actually connect the channel to your space. So on our platform, you can connect a lot of different types of channels. You can connect like Facebook, WhatsApp, WeChat, Line, a lot of different platforms. I'm just going to show you how to connect a Facebook page because it's really easy and quick. All you need to do is go here to settings, go to add channel. You're going to choose Facebook Messenger because it works through the Facebook Messenger infrastructure, and we're going to connect with Facebook. Now my password is all in there, so it's really easy. When you connect with Facebook, all that really enables you to do is to see all the pages that you're admin on. So as you can see, I have a lot of pages. I've created a lot of test pages over the time we've been running this company. But I'm going to select my page RB test. The next thing I'm going to do is add a greeting message. I'm just going to say, hello. Do you have any questions? And what's going to happen with this greeting message is when somebody talks to you for the first time on your Facebook page, this is going to be the first message that they see. So it's going to kind of prompt them to ask a question. Now, I'm just going to hit done. And that's it. I'm all connected. So you can see here that I have RB test, which is the name of my Facebook page and my channel list. Now, when you connect your Facebook page for the first time, if you're like me, your Facebook page probably already has a lot of people that chatted with you on it. Unfortunately, because of the way Facebook works, they can't become your contacts automatically. But you can get a lot of them to become your contacts by sending a broadcast. So a broadcast is just something that it's a message that you can create, and it just basically gets sent to your Facebook subscribers. Now, the amount of Facebook subscribers it gets sent on really depends on how you set it up. So I'm just going to name my broadcast my first broadcast. And then I am going to select the channel. So you see here, I only have RB test connected. So I'm going to use that channel. And what I actually want to do is I want to send to all contacts in the channel. And what this really means is that you're targeting all your Facebook page subscribers. So everybody who's ever sent a message to your Facebook page, they're going to receive this message. Now, the next thing you want to do is add some content. So I'm going to say something like, hey, it's Yarrow from Rocketbots. And I'm going to let them know we're going to be using this channel a little differently. And the key thing is nobody can really become a contact on Rocketbots until they actually send you a message. So the last thing you're going to want to do here is make sure you ask some sort of question so that they can actually reply to you. So I'm going to say something like, what kind of content do you want to see from us going forward? Now, I'm not going to send this broadcast, but if I did, this broadcast would basically get sent out to all your Facebook page subscribers. Now, they don't have to respond to it, but if they do, they're going to become your Rocketbots contacts, and then you'll see them in the messaging module. Now, aside from just activating all the Facebook page subscribers you already have, what you might actually have is a really popular website, right? And what you want to do is try as best as you can to be able to convert those contacts on your website to Rocketbots contacts. So one of the best ways to do this is install something called the Facebook Messenger Chat plugin. So the way you can do that is you can go to the Facebook page that you've already connected and click Edit. Now at the bottom, you'll see this checkbox here that says, do you want to add a Facebook chat widget to your website? And I do. So I'm going to hit the checkbox and I'm going to press Next. Now, the next thing you're going to need to do is to whitelist the URL of the website. So we have kind of a test website that we use here, getsammy.com. So I'm just going to copy the URL from there, and then I'm going to paste it in the website URL and hit Enter. So this is going to allow the chat widget to show on our website once I add the code. Now, you can do some customization here with the color, and there's a little bit more customization you can do down here. But for now, I'm just going to show you how to add the plugin. So the code is here, and you're just going to want to put this in the footer of your website. So I'm going to do that really quickly here. So we have this great footers and headers widget on our WordPress. I'm just going to copy this script into the footer, save my settings, and then I'm going to head down back to the site. All right. So this is the Facebook Customer Chat plugin. Basically, it works kind of like a regular web chat, The only real difference is that if someone leaves your website, you'll actually still be able to message them back through Facebook Messenger. It's a really handy tool, especially, for example, if somebody messages you and you just can't get to them in time. With a regular chat widget, they might just leave, and then you'll lose a customer or lose a potential customer. But with the Facebook customer chat plugin, if you're 1 or 2 minutes too late, you can just send them a quick message back through Facebook Messenger, and you can keep chatting with them just like that. Now, I'm not going to show you how this works just yet. I'll show you a little bit later. But what I am going to do is show you how to build an onboarding survey. Because imagine you put this chat widget on your website, and suddenly you might have like 50 people chatting with you an hour. So what you probably want to do is just get some basic information from them before they get started chatting with you, so you can know a little bit about them before you get started. So the one way you can do that is by creating a survey. So you have a survey here. And to create a survey, I'm just going to hit Add Survey. I'll just give my survey the name Onboarding Survey. And I'll put the description as Ask Some Questions to New Users. Now, we already have a question set up for you here. So this is just a regular question that you can type in and ask. But I'm going to want to collect people's emails first. So I'll actually close that question, and I'm going to go to my question types here and select email. And that's really the first thing I want to get from people is, what is your email? The reason I might want to do that is because they may have already emailed me in the first place. So if I do have their email, it's going to be a lot easier for me to understand where they're coming from or if we've had any conversations. Now, aside from the question, I want to add a fallback message. And the fallback message really only works if they don't answer your question correctly. So in this case, you're asking for an email. And if they don't give you one, you might want to say something like, please enter your email. So, and I'm just going to put a little smiley face to make sure that they feel good about my question. And one last thing I want to do is I just want to save this as a field. So if they do give me their email, I just want to add it to their profile so I don't have to do it manually. And one other thing I want to ask is, how can I help them? So there's a lot of, you can just ask this as an open question, but we actually want to ask it as a multiple choice question, because we do just have 3 options that we want people to click. So I'm going to put the question in here. How can we help you? And then I'm going to give them the 3 options. So I'm going to say sales, support, and billing. And in this case, I'm not going to allow custom answers, but what I will do is ask them to choose an option if they don't. So I'll just say, please choose one of the 3 options. All right. And what I actually also want to do is save the option they choose as a tag. And I'll show you, if you save these kind of things as tags, you'll be able to use them as automations. And I'll show you how you can do this a little bit later in the webinar. Now, the last thing you can do is add a success message or a failure message. So if they answer the question successfully, I'm just going to say, thanks. Someone will be here with you in a moment. Great. So I'm going to create that survey. Now, although I can go directly to my contact and I can actually just send them the survey from the Send Survey button down here in the messaging module, wouldn't it be so much better if every time somebody talks to you for the first time, you just sent them the survey automatically? So we've actually created a way that you can do that with some automation rules. So to set up something like that, I'm going to add a rule. I'm going to call this onboarding survey launch. So to set up a rule, you really only need 2 things. The first is the trigger. Now, the trigger is what makes this rule start. So there's a lot of different triggers here that you can choose from, like tag is added, or a custom field changes to something, or you send a broadcast. But we're actually just going to use conversation starts. Now, every time somebody enters the conversation with you for the first time, so for example, they come to your website, they press here, continue as themselves, that's going to trigger the conversation start. Now, the other thing you're going to need in your rule is an action. So in our case, what we really want to do is, the first thing I want to do is actually send a message. So I'm going to say, hey there, welcome to Rocketbots. And please answer these 2 questions before we get started. And again, I just put a little smiley face just to help them along. And the last thing I'm going to want to do is send the actual survey that we just created. So as the second action, I'm going to choose Send Survey. And then I'm going to select Onboarding Survey, which is the survey we just created. So that's it. So we have our survey and we have our action. And now we're going to test it out. We're going to see it in action. So I'm going to go back to my Facebook, to my web page over here, and I'm going to continue. Oh, I've already used this. Sorry about that. Give me just 1 second here. Just going to delete the chat so we can simulate it starting from the beginning. Delete the conversation, refresh the page. And here we go again. So somebody comes to your website, gives you a quick hello. So the first thing they're going to do is ask your email. And because I'm on Facebook, Facebook actually pre-populates this for me, so I can actually just click it quickly. And then the next thing I'm going to do is just answer what I'm actually looking for. So in this case, I'm going to hit sales. Okay, and that's the end of the survey. Thanks. Someone will be there with you in a moment. Now, as you can see, this is how it looks on the Rocketbot side. They are going to come into your messaging module, and you'll actually see them here in your unassigned list. So basically, whenever somebody comes into Rocketbots, you'll see them here as unassigned. And when you send them the first message, you can say something like, hey there, I'm Yara, and I'll be helping you today. You can see they'll actually automatically be assigned to you, and you can find them here in mine. Yeah, so this is just kind of a way of keeping track of which contacts you're dealing with and who's dealing with what contact. Now, what I can do is I can mark them done. That means I'm done with that contact. But if they do come and send another message, just like this, you'll actually see them come back here into the unassigned list, right? So you see you mark this person as done, and now they're unassigned again. So the last thing I kind of want to show you, the last little automation is, let's say when somebody chooses sales, as you can see, they got a tag as sales. You actually want to assign them to someone automatically, right? So right now with this contact comes in, they're automatically unassigned, but I know that I'm the best salesperson in the company, so I actually want to assign it to myself automatically. So I can build a little automation for that as well. So I'm going to go back to automations. I'm going to add a rule, and I'm going to call it sales assigned to Yarrow. And then what I can actually do here is I'll use a different trigger. I'll use tag is added, and I'm going to select the tag sales. Now, and I want the action to be to assign to me. So I'll choose the action to be assigned to, and then I'll select the only user in this space for now, which is me. And then I'm going to create the rule. So basically now what's going to happen is when your contact enters the conversation, they're going to give you their email. They're going to let you know how they can help you, in this case, sales. And then once they choose the answer sales and the tag is added, it's actually going to be assigned to me automatically. So that's it. That's kind of a short tour of how the platform works. I'm actually going to pass it off now to Jerry.
You want to answer the questions?
Sure. Ooh. That's weird how that works. Okay. So let's go through the questions. So does this bot integrate with WordPress? Yes. So what we have on our website, aside from the Facebook customer chat plugin, that's one way you can integrate it with your website. But we also just have a standard web chat you can use if you don't want to kind of integrate through Facebook Messenger, or you don't think your customers will be comfortable chatting with you through Facebook Messenger. And if you want to do that, you can actually go to settings here. You can add channel. You can add this www, which is kind of for web chat. You can see it pop up here. And just like any other channel, when you create the space, just like any other channel, when you create it, you're going to have to give it a name. You call it My Web Chat. You might want to say the name of the website here if you have multiple websites, because you can create multiple web chats. And you can also do a little bit of a customization, what the title is. So yeah, so you can use this platform on your website. And you can either do it through just a standard web chat, or the one that we prefer is the Facebook customer chat plugin, so that you can like catch them after they leave your website. Oh yes, I didn't share the screen. Okay, let me read the question and then I'll share the screen when there's something on the platform. So will it be possible for AppSumos to spread 5,000 contacts per deal over several projects? Yes. So what you can actually do is create multiple spaces. So I'm just going to share my screen here again. Can you see the screen, Jerry? Okay, yeah, now you can. Perfect. So you can share your contacts over multiple businesses by having multiple spaces. So you can see here I have a few spaces that I've created. We have our main Rocketbot space where we do customer support and stuff. And then we have these other spaces for testing and connecting channels and stuff. So once you get your AppSumo deal, however many contacts you decide to get, you can use those contacts across all the spaces that you can create. So you can create unlimited spaces, and every time with every space, you can connect a unique set of channels, you can invite a unique set of users, you can create a unique set of surveys, a unique set of automations. So every space is kind of its own independent place that you can use. And you can spread your contacts across those spaces. Okay, let me stop sharing. Back to the questions. Can you make sure to go through how this can be used to an agency to provide multiple clients without? Yeah, so you can use spaces basically to provide this for multiple clients. Can this be used for groups as well? So right now, our channels don't support group chat. So if you create a group chat on Facebook or on WhatsApp, you won't actually see that in your contacts list as of yet. But I do believe that is a pretty popular feature request, so we will get to it. Any plans to add auto distribution for tickets among teams? It's not really a plan right now, but I think if you guys add this kind of thing to the feature requests, it's something we can work on. We're just not 100% sure how we would go about doing it. We do think that the unassigned system works pretty well, because that way that basically if one of your agents doesn't really have anything to do or is busy with chats, they can go to unassigned and just grab another chat for themselves. But I do understand how in some instances you might want to basically kind of force people into a chat. But we don't have a system like that yet, like round robin style, but it's something that we'll definitely consider in the future. Okay, question. So regarding the contact limit, so I think this is a pretty popular question. I think this question kind of stems from the idea if you're coming from the live chat world. And in live chat, somebody can be chatting with you as an active contact, and then once they leave your website, they leave. Our platform is really designed to incorporate messaging apps. So if you have a Facebook page, if you have a WhatsApp account, if you have a WeChat official account, and most of these are persistent contacts, which means that they can keep chatting with you. They can chat with you now, or they can chat with you 1 year later. So the contacts are pretty much permanent. And it's not like 5,000 new contacts every month. In case I don't ask for contacts from my customer, yeah. So if you don't ask for email, they still actually become a contact on the Rocketbots platform. So every person that chats with you through a messaging app is going to become a contact in this screen, and that's what counts to your contacts. So you see on Rocketbots, we have a little bit over 2,000 contacts. I have a few contacts on these other spaces, but it's negligible. So basically, all the contacts that we've collected over this time do count to the contact limit. Are these surveys strictly with Rocketbots chat widget, or do they function as a type of lead gen bot on our Facebook page? So the surveys work across any channel. So if you have a Facebook page connected, if you have a Line official account connected, if you have a WeChat official account connected, or even just the standard web chat, the surveys are going to work the same across all of your channels. And yes, you can set it up so that the surveys can be triggered automatically when they chat with you for the first time. When the contact limit, so Aziz here is asking, what happens if the contact limit is exceeded? So if you buy one AppSumo deal, you'll get 5,000 contacts. Currently in our platform, if you exceed the contact limit, you just won't be able to talk with any new contacts. So all your existing contacts will be fine, and you'll be able to keep chatting with them, keep using automations with them, but no new contacts will appear until you upgrade. So Chris is asking, how does this work with Twilio? With Twilio, it works basically like any other platform. The only difference is you have to go into Twilio first and create a number if you don't already have one. But it really works exactly like with any other messaging app, so except it's over SMS. So you can send someone a message on Twilio, they'll send you a message back, and you can keep going back and forth like that, and you'll see it in the Rocketbots dashboard. Can the 5,000 contacts be transferred to my email list and a fresh batch of contacts added? The answer is yes. So you can actually go into the contacts module and you can delete contacts. And what we've actually done is, this was a really popular request on the AppSumo page. We've made it so, sorry, I only have one contact here, so it's not obvious. But you can select all your contacts using the chat box, and you can actually delete them all at the same time. And you can also, whatever list you have, you can export it to CSV, for example, and that will export all the emails that you've collected, along with any other custom fields. Like, for example, you can collect phone number, you can collect tags. That's all going to get exported when you export through CSV. For WhatsApp integration, does it need to be a WhatsApp business account? So it doesn't have to be a WhatsApp business account. So with using our Chat API integration partner, you can connect a personal account or a WhatsApp business app. And now just recently, this Friday, we've also integrated WhatsApp business API over Twilio. So if you have a WhatsApp number on Twilio, you can connect it to Rocketbots, and you'll be able to use Rocketbots and WhatsApp together. So what is the functionality that we have with WhatsApp? We have most of the basic functionality. So you'll be able to collect contacts, you'll be able to message them, you'll be able to create surveys, you'll be able to launch automations. The only thing you won't be able to do over WhatsApp for now is to send a broadcast. But we are working on a way to do that in the future. OK, so Annette, thank you for clarifying your question there. So does it work with Facebook groups? Facebook groups don't really have a chat function like Facebook pages. So on a Facebook page, here, I'll actually show you. On a Facebook page, you can, there's a little chat at the bottom right that you can launch. Let me see if ours launches here at the bottom. So you'll see Facebook pages have this send message button, and sometimes they'll have this actually prompt that pops up over here. Facebook groups don't have that functionality. Facebook groups are just kind of comment pages. They don't have any direct messaging. So you can't really use Rocketbots for Facebook groups, unfortunately. If you're not logged in to Rocketbots and away from your desk, you can get an alert, but for now it's just an email automation, an email notification. So what happens is whenever there's any new unread contacts, oh, hold on, let me share my screen. This is an important one. Let me just see when it shares. Takes a little while. Awesome. OK. So whenever you have a new unread contact on the Rocketbots platform, you can be sent an email notification. And the way you set that up is you just go here to your profile, and you have to choose email notifications will be sent for. And then for me, I get email notifications for all contacts. But you can, for example, get only notifications for contacts that are assigned to me, or you can say, do not send me any emails. So for me, I still want to get my email notifications, so I'll keep it at that. And yeah, that's how you can basically get a notification on your phone when there's a new chat coming in. Will email channels be available for LTT buyers when it comes around? Yes. So we're going to be adding email at some point in the future. It's going to be available for people who buy AppSumo deals. If I have multiple WhatsApp numbers, okay, Melanie is asking, if I have multiple WhatsApp numbers, one for each brand, and want to use the same rules, do I need to set up each account as one space, or do I need different Rocketbots account for each branch? That's a very good question. So like I said before, the way we kind of keep things separate is multiple spaces. So if you want to have the same rules for multiple WhatsApp numbers or for multiple channels, like one Facebook, one WhatsApp, one Telegram, you're going to want to do that all in the same space. Will you guys give us the opportunity to localize the backend of Rocketbots in different languages? Unfortunately, this is quite a hard ask, but what we've actually done is we've optimized the Rocketbots backend so that it works really, really well in Google Translate. So if your customers are using Rocketbots, you can just ask them to Google Translate the web page, and we've made sure that all the buttons, everything is very clear, even when you're using Google Translate. Abe is asking, how does this compare to ManyChat? Does it have the same features? So we're a little bit different from ManyChat. We're not really a bot builder. What we are is kind of more of a messaging app CRM with some chat automation features and some AI. So yeah, it's quite a bit different from ManyChat, I would say, because ManyChat is really designed to like try and automate the entire conversations. But we're like, in our experience, what we found that is there's a few places in a conversation where you do want to automate it, like right at the beginning or with maybe some frequently asked questions. But if you're really looking for conversions and you're really looking for a good customer experience, you're going to need to have this balance between automation and answering from a live person. And that's kind of the experience we've tried to create with Rocketbots. How many questions with auto response messages can be set up? Can we set up a fixed response without worrying about accuracy? So I think this is a question about smart replies. Now, what we do have here is smart replies here on the bottom right. And you don't actually have to set anything up. The smart replies actually learn from the responses that you give. You do have to send a few questions before. You do have to have a little bit of back and forth before it starts working. But basically, smart replies will generally show up here on the right, and it's answers that you've already used. So for example, I use this here as an answer to your question, and that's going to be one of the responses available for the AI to learn. Okay, we have Margarita says, we have 122,000 followers on Facebook. We are pretty active on Messenger. If we send out a broadcast, will it go to all followers or only those who initiated a chat with us? So it's only those who initiated a chat with you. So I actually know a way where you can check this. So let me just quickly show you. If you want to know for your first broadcast, how many people are going to receive it, what you can actually do is you can go to your Facebook.
Sharing screen.
Oh yeah, share my screen. 1 second. Sorry, guys. Let me just see. Awesome. Okay, so if you want to know how many people are going to get your first broadcast, the one that you send to get people onto Rocketbots, what you can do here is go to your Facebook page. You can go to Facebook page Insights. And down here, you can go to Messages. And you can see here, it will say Messaging Connections. This is all the people who have messaged your page but not blocked you. Yeah, so for us, if we were to send a broadcast to everyone who is a subscriber on our Facebook page, it's going to go to 3,374 people. So if you're curious how many people will get the message, that's a cool way to figure it out. Okay, how it works integrating with WhatsApp. So in general, we have two ways of integrating with WhatsApp. One is through Chat API, which allows you to integrate WhatsApp Business App and your personal WhatsApp. And the other is integrating through Twilio. Each of those do have a fee. Chat API has a monthly fee, and Twilio charges per message. So if you want to figure out which one is best for you, we suggest you go to the docs and figure out which one is going to work best for you. If you have a really low volume of messaging, Twilio is going to work better. But yeah, it's kind of you'll have to figure it out depending on your use case. Can it be used as a group chat bot with WhatsApp? Ashish is asking. Not at this time, so we want to enable it to be able to be used in WhatsApp groups, but it's not possible yet. So if you guys want that feature, just head to the feature request and upvote that feature. Does this have a way to set hours of use? Not right now. So we call this kind of internally an away message, but we don't have a way of setting it up yet. But like I said, for the other features, if it's important to you, just go ahead and upload it in the feature requests, and we'll be processing those feature requests as fast as possible. And can we automate the deleting of contacts? No, unfortunately, we can't do that. We made it easy to do a bulk delete, so you should be able to delete a few hundred contacts relatively quickly without any effort, but we don't have an automation for that. John is asking, so just to understand how it works, if someone fills their phone number in a Facebook lead ad, can I then WhatsApp them a survey to that number at some point right after, or say 1 hour later? No, you won't be able to do that, because with every channel, every user has its own opt-in. So what that basically means is if somebody sends you a message on Facebook, you can't send them a message back on WhatsApp or back on Line or back on WeChat, because each one of those companies, Facebook, WhatsApp, WeChat, and Line, they all have their own opt-in. So sadly, you can't match users by email and then start sending them messages on other messaging apps. But what you can do on Facebook is actually you can create a click to WhatsApp ad. So if you want to send them a message back on WhatsApp, you should just use a click to WhatsApp ad instead of a click to Facebook ad. Okay, Chris is saying, I just initiated a conversation on your website via Facebook Messenger, but instead of continuing the conversation from the website, I have to open Messenger from my phone or Facebook. Is it possible to chat directly from the website without having to open another app? Yes, it is possible. So what Chris saw is that we're using a little bit of a different widget. Let me just show you now on our website. So what we're using on our main page here on the Rocketbots is kind of a multi-channel widget. The idea is to just display to people that, hey, you can actually message us through any of these services. It's kind of a really important feature to our customers, and we do kind of put it forward. But Chris, this is for you. So if you go to our, where's our contact page? If you go to our contact page, we're actually using a different widget there. We're using the Facebook customer chat plugin, which is, oh yes. Share the screen. I wish we could see the questions and share the screen at the same time, but it goes a bit crazy. Okay. So what Chris was talking about is on our main site, we're actually using this multi-channel widget here. So see, it just shows you how you can kind of send a message through all these different services. But if you want to just let people chat directly, you can actually use the Facebook customer chat plugin, which is available here. It's currently on our contact page. It's going to load up there in a second. Or you can, of course, you can also use our standalone web chat. Now, a lot of customers ask, can they chat directly on the website through WhatsApp or through Telegram or through Line? Unfortunately, not at this time, because the channel has to enable it. So Facebook created this chat plugin for people to use, and that's why it's possible for us to add it for you. But WhatsApp and Telegram, they kind of don't have that. So the best you can really do for now, if you want to enable those chat channels for your customers, is to use the multi-channel widget like we use on our homepage here. Okay. If someone connects a Line app, do they get added as a friend through the app? If I later export them out of Rocketbots, are they removed from the Line app and can't chat anymore? So if someone sends you a message through Line, they're going to be added as a contact on Rocketbots as a Line contact. If you export them out later, it's not like they're going to be removed. because you'll need to delete the contact to remove them from the contacts. But even if you do delete the contacts, if they send you another message back through Line, they're going to become your contact again. You just won't be able to see their previous chat history. Would Rocketbots be similar to using Dialogflow with Janice.ai? That's what Mike is asking. Mike, I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with all the features of Janice.ai. I know they have quite a robust feature set, but we do have a Dialogflow integration. So if you go to settings, you can connect it here. So for those who don't know, Dialogflow is like an AI chatbot maker using natural language. So if instead of you want to go through buttons and stuff, you want to make an AI chatbot, you can connect it through, you can create it with Dialogflow and connect it to Rocketbots. And with Dialogflow and Rocketbots together, you do get some special features like you can mark people done from inside Dialogflow. You can assign from inside Dialogflow. And if you want to learn more about what's possible with our Dialogflow integration, you can just go to docs.rocketbots.io and go to Dialogflow integration, and it's going to discuss all the different things that you can do together with Rocketbots and Dialogflow. And if you have any specific questions, just send a message to our Facebook, and we're going to help you with that. I know that sometimes it's hard to figure out what you can and cannot do. Dennis, I want to limit the 5,000 contacts for each space. How do I do that? That's not something you can do at this time, but it's something that we're going to be creating in the future with our reseller package. Besides smart replies, so Aziz is asking, besides smart replies, do you have a system for canned responses? We don't have a system for canned responses right now, but we're actually working on it. So you'll actually see it released in a few weeks' time. We know that a lot of people wanted to be able to basically customize their smart reply responses, and we're going to enable you guys to do that using canned responses in the future. We're going to be calling it snippets, so if you ask, you can call it snippets. Would it be possible to add your chat widget to be used inside an app as an in-app feature? That's a great question, but we can't do that right now. So actually, that's not something that's even on our feature request page. So if you'd like to add that, that'd be a great idea. And we can work on that in the future. Ashish is asking, I want to use Rocketbots as a smart reply-based FAQ in a way like getting fixed answers for questions using some keywords used in questions like other platform. Can I achieve this with Rocketbots? Yes, this is basically how our smart replies work, but we don't use a keyword-based system. We use an AI-based system. So when you use the smart replies, they're going to offer you up those smart replies again when our system sees a similar question come in. And then once you see that your smart replies are getting to like a very high level, like 97% confidence, you can enable smart replies and you can set yours to something like 90% or 89%. And then whenever the system sees a question that's come in many times and it knows the answer, it's going to send it automatically. Just to confirm, we can broadcast to 100% of the users we have messaging connections to prior to connecting our page with Rocketbots? Yes. So you can send a broadcast message to 100% of those users, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to reply to you. So they only become a contact once they reply to you, once they send the first message. So just keep that in mind. And can we add a users via imported list or from Facebook token via an app? No. So unfortunately, Facebook API doesn't allow us to do this. Hopefully, maybe some point in the future, because I know like there's a lot of platforms now that connect to Facebook messaging. So I guess at some point, Facebook will allow you to do that, but it's not something that we can control, unfortunately. Okay, so John is saying, just to clarify, because did not realize you could do an add to WhatsApp, so we can use your software to implement that if we run a Facebook to WhatsApp ad, that would be cool. Exactly. So you can do a click to WhatsApp ad. I don't know if I can go into the ads and figure it out quickly now because I actually haven't done it in a little while. But if you want to send us a Facebook message to our Facebook page, John, I would be happy to look that up for you, how to create a click to WhatsApp ad. So Ashish is asking, after how many attempts will it reach 80 to 97% accuracy? That really depends on how your questions are. So if you have 5 questions that people are always asking over and over and over again, you're going to reach the 80 to 90% accuracy really fast. Like maybe, I don't know, after 50 to 100 answers. But if you have a situation where they're not really frequently asked questions, and what you actually have is like 100 unique questions that are asked in very different ways at very different times, it's going to take a very, very long time for you to get there. So if there are no more questions, so I'll give everybody like 2 seconds to add a question. No questions? Okay, then what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to hand off to Jerry, who's going to show you guys how to use
I'll be the
Zapier.
one answering questions on the side.
Can you read?
Are you sure
Yes,
you
I
muted?
can.
Yes, right here. I'll be the one answering questions on the side. Are you sure you muted?
I am
That's
not
true.
muted yet, but I'm trying to figure out how to do it. Because now that I'm not presenter, it doesn't show on my screen anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
Chris, can you help us out with this? There we go.
We can hear you. Can't see your screen. You got the screen share
Exactly.
going?
Now, can you guys hear me?
Okay,
Perfect.
excellent.
I will enable that right away. So, hey guys, I'm the CEO of Rocketbots. Yara did a great job explaining how the platform works and and answering all those questions. Now I'm going to go a little bit more technical on how the integrations work, specifically with Zapier. This is integration that we use inside our company a lot, and maybe you guys will like it as well. So let's get started. So I'll share my entire screen. And at some point, it's going to start looping. Oh yeah, there we go. That's the looping down there. Yeah, there we go. So that means we're ready to go. Great. So this is an example of how our platform looks like when you have a lot of channels connected. This is all me. So before the demo, I make sure to send a message from all my different messaging accounts to a Rocketbots platform. You can see, well, I guess I don't have to explain anything on this side right now. But what it's very cool, and I created a space for this called demo space, is that we manage our platform from within several platforms. So we use, for example, Trello to manage our box or issues that are too complicated to solve during a chat. So imagine someone comes and asks you, I'm having troubles with my account, could you please reset my password? For the sake of the argument, let's assume I cannot do this right away, and I would like to create like a ticket for this. I could come and manually add it and say, this user cannot add doesn't have access to his account. But of course, I don't want to do that. I want to do it automatically. And what I did is I created a custom field right here called Create Card on Trello. And via Zapier integration, I'm connected to Trello. And if I write something like reset user password, and as soon as I leave this field over here, I just press anywhere or I click on enter. You will see if I go back here, it has been created, reset user password, right? And if I click on it, you'll see inside that it already has all the information about the user. I didn't have to input it myself. This information came from what I input. But however, the rest of the information was automatically given by our platform via Zapier to Trello. And you can do the same. Imagine if you have a ticketing system on, let's say, Jira or in any help desk platform, and you just want to connect it. And the easy questions, you can handle them with Rocketbots, and then just pass the ticket to a more complex tool like Zendesk. So what you do, you create a Zapier integration. It will look something like this. The first thing you want to do is select Rocketbots from all the list of your SAPs. There's thousands of SAPs, thousands of different platforms that you can connect just by clicking on make a new SAP, and then you go into Rocketbots. You find us here. Just important for you guys to note is that right now Rocketbots is in early access by Zapier. So that means that if you want to see it, you please make sure to use the right link. So if you go to a platform on settings, you'll see the Zapier integration. If you click on edit or connect, this is the token that you're going to use to integrate. But to see Rocketbots on Zapier, please click on this link. Once we have enough people using our Zapier integration, Zapier is going to do like a big launch party, and then you'll be able to find it. In the meantime, you have to come here, accept, invite, to build this up. And that's it. As soon as you have that, you'll be able to create exactly what I'm doing. Then the first thing it's going to ask you is, when do you want to trigger this integration? When you have a new contact or a new custom field changes. What I did in the last step, the last integration, was when a custom field changes. Specifically, this custom field I built called create a card on Trello. I could easily have name it differently, or maybe imagine you use Zendesk and you want to say create ticket on Zendesk, right? And I want to have it as a text, so yeah, it looks good. If I go to the message, you see custom fields right here. So I just created this new custom field. And what I want to do in this case is the exact same thing I did before. I will go and I'll say, okay, I want to connect an account. I will show you how, this is the accounts I connected before, but if you want to see how easy it is, just click on connect account. You go back to our Zapier to settings. You copy this thing right here, and you just paste it here. And when you click on yes, continue, the integration has been done. Let's go back to it. There we go. This is the space I just connected. And if I go to move to the next one, it would ask me, okay, what custom field do you want to be observing? What custom field is going to trigger this automation? You see the custom field I just recently created, create ticket on Zendesk, was added. And just like that, well, I can test it. Let's test it. And yeah, seems to be working fine. So it's just moving to the next stage. So that's how you connect Rocketbots. Now, here's the interesting thing. Well, then you need to pass to the next system. And I don't have a Zendesk account. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect Trello again. But yeah, I guess you can understand how it will work anyways. So you go to Trello. You want to create a new card, correct? And then same, you connect your Trello account. I already connected before, but it's as easy as just going here. Allow. Next one. And now it's going to ask me, okay, when you create in the card, what information do you want to use? Remember that Rocketbots is sending a lot of information to Trello right now. It's not only the name of the card. So it's not only passing to Zapier the line that you input. That's the trigger. But it's also passing whatever it's here, the tags. If I have tags 1, 2, 3. If I have a phone number, for instance, I'll put my real phone number. You guys want to call me. My email address, and all this information that I have input here, it will be passed to the Zapier integration. So what do I want to do? I want to choose in which board I want the card to appear. Personal board demo. In which list. In new. The name of the card. Remember, the name of the card is important. In this case, I put reset user password. It comes from the custom field directly. So I'll use a variable. And here, I'll just find custom field. Custom field, create ticket on Zendesk. That will be the name of the card. Inside the card, I want to add something like, I want to know the name of the person who I'm dealing with. I want to have their email address. I want to have their phone number. And I want to have a URL where I can go and continue the chat, right? So this is just raw text, but what I want to do now is add the variables, and I would add name. I would add email. I would add phone number, which is empty. And last thing I want to do is I want to add the URL. So this URL is the URL that will take you directly to the chat. So the nice thing about this is that if you're, if you want to deal with this user, you finished solving the problem, you can just click on this URL and it will take you directly to the chat where you can continue the conversation. Now, the last thing I want to do here is save it. So continue. If I want to test it, I trust that it works. I'll skip the testing. Finish. Let's name it demo Zapier, and I'll turn that on. Now, if you guys, so you guys can imagine, there we go, it's on. What would happen? All I have to do is input anything on this field. So I would say something like, let's try something different, like user lost his keys. Again, as soon as I leave this one, it goes to Zapier. And what would Zapier do? We'll do whatever we just built. And if I go back here, user lost his keys. And all the information that we request, including the phone number and email. You can use this to integrate your information with your CRM system. You can create a rule that says whenever email is present or whatever email is changed, then send the information to HubSpot or to Salesforce. This is just an example of one of the automations you can do. As you can imagine, there's a lot of variables that you can use that we send to Zapier. So in my opinion, it's quite a powerful integration. And we are working on adding each time more triggers. So if you guys can think of a very cool trigger that you would like to see, for example, the next one we're adding is new tag. So whenever a new tag is added, you want to trigger something. That's something we're working on. And if you need anything to do with Zapier or any other feature, we actually have this request feature page. And for us, it's very important. For a long time, we've been building features based on our assumptions. But luckily for us, we're large enough to trust our users. And all you guys have to do is come here and you have to upvote the feature that you want to see. Imagine you want to see a new Zapier integration. You'll say add Zapier integration. And then you say, sorry, please add tag trigger. So all you have to do, and it will go live, so everyone can actually upvote it. Everyone who sees it can upvote for it. And what we usually do, we start from the features that are most higher up in the queue, and then we work our way down. You can see our roadmap. Here are the things that we're currently working on right now, the things that we have planned for this week, and everything that we have released recently. I guess that's it from my side. I'm gonna go back to, there we go. Do I see any new questions? Yes. Is there a free trial we can use to test out some of the features? Yes, there is. Our platform uses a freemium model. So that means you can get started for free, but as soon as you hit the 100 contacts, you will have to pay. I do recommend you to have a look at the AppSumo if you believe it's a platform that can help you out. We cannot tell you exactly how much longer it's going to run, but what I can tell you is when the AppSumo is finished, we won't be doing any lifetime deal anymore. This is probably the last one we're doing. Well, the first one and last one we're doing. I see a lot of questions here on the right. Yaro have been answering. Good. So in that case, guys, I guess that's it from my side.
All right, guys. Thank you, Jerry and Yaro. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to walk through this. We are coming up on the hour, and I want to respect everyone's time, but glad we got to get through all of those questions. Thanks for going through that and for doing the walkthrough. So if all of the Simulings on here could give a big round of applause and thank you for these guys taking the time out of their busy launch day to go through, help out, show you guys how to do this. We're super appreciative over here. So thank you guys. If you have any other questions about the tool, you can leave those questions on the deal page. It's appsumo.com/rocketbots. You can check it out there. $49 for this. So it's a really great deal. But other than that, thank you guys. We really appreciate you coming on and taking the time. And we'll talk soon.
Thank you. See you.
Bye-bye.